Good evening and welcome, everybody. This is Desiree, founder of An Empowered Woman. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. I'm really excited to share this information with you. And let me tell you first a little bit about An Empowered Woman. We'll be celebrating our 10 years in business next year. Networking community for women professionals and entrepreneurs. And we support women that are building radio shows, TV shows, mastermind meetings, seminars, and awesome live events. The One of the things that we do is really be able to start women in building their businesses. Tell you about the program we called the Power of Seven. But I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself. I was born to be an entrepreneur. I believe I was. I've been an entrepreneur since the age of 12, and I had many different businesses. And I just really enjoyed the process of starting something, being able to create something, and then be able to go and build it from one point to the other. And sometimes I made a lot of money, whereas so much money I couldn't keep track of, and sometimes I made barely nothing. But it was the lessons that were learned from each experience that enables me today to be able to coach and to be able to lead women in their businesses. Empowered Women, again, we have all different types of programs. One of our signature programs is our Power of Seven. We've been doing it for a while, but just the last couple of years we've been doing it really intensely because, as we all know, that women live it up as far as building their businesses. And we've had to make money in our businesses. And the most important thing is being able to see how you can quickly create a six-figure business with just a few simple steps. So the Power 7, one of the things that we have is networking, speaking, and live events. And that's what we're going to talk about tonight. But also there's affiliates, joint ventures, sponsors, telecalls, webinars, and Google Hangouts, which we're doing tonight, web, TV, and radio shows, how to become a published author, creating products, programs, and services, and being able to weave them all into your social media. It's what we call our Get It Done program. Now, first thing we go through is networking. And networking sounds so simple because we've all been networking all this time, but there really is an art to it. The people that are master networkers really are able to work the room and really be able to leave not only with additional funds and clients as well as sales, but also being able to, really develop some good strategies. So first what you do is set an intention and work the room. Then there is a way to ask, tell, and ask. So when you meet somebody, you want to be able to ask them what they do and find out what they're saying, ask them a couple of questions, very strategic questions, so that you can be able to listen and hear what you're going to respond to, and then tell them what you do, but tell them what you do that's appropriate for them. Because again, if it's something completely different off the wall, then they may not be receptive to it. And then ask them for the order. Ask them for an opportunity if it's appropriate. If they can't get the order that night or that place, wherever you are, their cards and be able to schedule a time or another opportunity to be able to meet with them and be able to talk with them. And don't try to close the deal at the same time if it's a large room, if it's not appropriate, because people usually don't stand out and pull their credit cards. But be selective and be efficient. Know exactly what you're looking for. So, for example, if I go in the room, I'm looking for members, then I'm going to speak to that and I'm going to listen for that. If I'm looking for sponsors, or if I'm looking for joint JV partners, or just alliance partners, then I'm going to look for that. I'm going to ask the questions that will lead to that, and I'm going to be able to focus in on that. So really be able to know that they call it network, but the network is, they say the value of your network is equivalent to the value of your net worth. So really it's worth the time. And then also when I get information, I make notes on the business cards for the appropriate follow-up. Sometimes I'll say call or schedule a lunch, and especially now with our mobile calendars and phones, you're able to make an appointment right then and there. So that's something else that goes on your to-do list. Make an appointment. They're usually impressed that you're really on the ball and really interested in making that time with them, and then confirm the appointment so that now you know you've got a confirmed appointment with that person. So you don't have to go back and try to play phone tag and catch up with each other again. You actually walk away with the appointment done. And if nothing else, be able to offer them some kind of resource. Maybe you have a friend or an associate, or you know somebody in business that can help support them. It's really wonderful to be able to give them, have something before you walk away. And then that way they'll remember you as being helpful and being a great resource, and to be much more apt to do business with you. Now, the fortune is in the follow-up, and I'm sure that we've all heard about that before. We know that, but do we do that? And I actually schedule, when I'm scheduled to be out, whether it's 1, 2, or 3 events, I make sure I schedule time on the phone for my follow-up or the phone call, because that way, before the time has passed and they've gone to multiple other events and they've kind of forgotten about what your hot topic was or your discussion was at that event, they're able to actually really find out more and really be able to determine whether this is a potential partner, client, or however they may work into your business. But also be willing to see how you can be of help to them, how you can support them. And then we can leverage the networks. So many times they have access not only to what they do specifically, perhaps to other groups and organizations that they're part of, or the resources that they may have that they're willing to share. So you determine all that, determine what your intention is, find out what you can do to support them, and then determine whether it's worth setting up a meeting. Because meetings are time intensive. By the time you get dressed and travel and park from driveway to driveway, it can really eat up a lot of your scheduling. So what I do is that I at least schedule things in certain days and certain times. So if I'm going to be in Los Angeles or Orange County, I'll schedule appointments back to back so that I'm not running in and out every day. I know that many times we stay busy, but that's not our objective, is to stay busy. Our objective is to stay effective and to be able to enjoy as much time as needed in our business and as much time as desired with our family, friends, and our relaxing time. So really be specific about who you're meeting with and make sure there's an intention there. Speaking opportunities. Now this is great because of the fact that it's always better to position yourself in front of the room. But you have to find out how and where to find speaking opportunities. There's so many of them around, whether it's from different groups, whether it's from different organizations, from Rotaries to Chamber of Commerce to any industry that you are affiliated with has associations, organizations that they have meetings. There's different, which is huge. There's a lot of different things that you can be available to you, and just a matter of just networking and finding out. Many groups, organizations, they always have something. If it's real estate, they have real estate meetings monthly. A lot of other sales programs have weekly meetings on weekly or monthly. So find out what the opportunities are and prepare yourself to do that. Getting in the front of the room is powerful, because instead of you being in the room looking for business, the business is looking for you. Because we've always had the opportunity when, after a speaker finishes speaking, there's always a line of people ready to find out more, get them the information, schedule an appointment. And you want to be in that position, and it's much easier than you think. You just have to learn how to create a speaker's one sheet and to find out exactly the topics, the hot topics you'll be speaking on, and then being able to send that to the people, and more importantly though, being able to follow up with them and being able to develop the relationship with them. And at the Power of 7, we have many ways that you can start that relationship: by inviting them to be on your radio show, by inviting them to be on your video, or inviting them to speak at one of your events first, which in turn they would allow them to be motivated, or to motivate them to let you speak on their platform. So there's a lot of different ways to do it, but it's really still one of the most powerful ways to engage. Not the only way, but one of the most powerful ways of actually getting people to enroll in your products, programs, and services on the spot. So speaking of events, lots of times I wasn't able to, when I'm not able to speak on other stages, I decide, okay, I'm going to create my own, because there's so much money that you can make by creating your own events. We call it promote and generate cash in a flash, because literally you can do events in 10 weeks per month or more. So it depends if it's a small event, a small luncheon in somebody's office, a conference room, or home. It could be a large event in a ballroom, conference center, things of that type. So today there's also live events and virtual events. Today we're going to concentrate on the live events, but a lot of the same information you can apply to your virtual events. So some of the ways you can create income: attendees pay. So everyone that attends the event pays. They buy their lunch or their dinner, or they simply pay a fee of entrance. Or you have your speakers pay. There's many speakers that just want to walk into a room full of their target market, and they will pay you for that privilege, because their expertise is in speaking, and they're great, and they're going to sell from the stage, and they're going to make enough money selling from the stage that will warrant their time spent. You can also create income from marketing tables. Around the perimeters of the room or outside the room, you find other merchants that could be compatible or completely different, that has products, programs, and services they want to sell. Also from the sale of your products, program, and services. Say, for example, you're speaking and you have a program that you're selling. Well, you're going to create income from selling your programs. And then you have joint ventures, where you bring somebody else on the stage, either with you or a combination of people, and you get a percentage or a flat fee from everything that they sell. Now, you want to make sure that they're good at selling, because sometimes you will either incur the full expense of the event and they will pay you a percentage or a flat fee, or you'll split the expense. But in the event, you want to be able to make sure that they're able to sell, so that you're compensated and you're making money from it, because at that point you'll be dependent upon them. And then there's the post-event opportunities. Like, many people think, oh, I've got to make the money all that day. Well, you've got a great list. There are warm lists now of all the people that attended. And even you can follow up and present an offer to them. So let's talk about break it down a bit, ticket sales. So people are willing to pay the ticket sales. Networking and content is so valuable, people that will pay for the opportunity to be in the room. So again, having different speakers, having different topics, having panels, all different types of formats where people will pay. And then people pay hundreds of dollars to attend events. Sometimes they're getting a luncheon or dinner, but sometimes there's 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. People pay thousands of dollars to be in the right place at the right time. So for masterminds, I've gone to masterminds where people pay $100,000 to be with a group of people for 2 or 3 days. I think people pay as low as $50 to be at a luncheon with the right person in the front of the room, or to be with the right group of people. So it depends on what you want to offer as to what you charge, but basically there's no limit on the opportunities to be able to charge ticket sales and have people register and pay for it. And then sometimes you can do it for absolutely free. If you have something you're going to sell, they pay nothing and just get them to the room and sell to them. And that would be perfect in a situation. And for example, you have joint ventures, and these are people that you have an agreement with, and they're going to sell from the stage, and you will get, again, a percentage or a flat fee for every sale that they make. So they come in, they bring in either their forms, and then sometimes they'll bring in their team in addition to your team, and it could be over, again, a lunch, a dinner, a breakfast, or just a plain meeting event, and they will sell. And then at the end of the event, they simply register. Sometimes they have a 3-day right of refusal. So sometimes people will get so caught up in the energy and excitement and buy, but then realize that they don't want to buy or can't afford it, so they'll have a return. But usually after that 3 days, all the sales are pretty solid. And at that point, you can actually just as it is. Sometimes they have payment plans, or maybe they make a certain amount that month, but then everybody's on a payment plan, so you'll be receiving a certain amount every month. So there's many ways that you can contract for it, and definitely have it in writing. Definitely have the details in writing about, again, what the process is for the returns, what the process is for the payments. Do that all up front, so that you really have had a wonderful event. Decide whether you're going to split the cost, or whether you absorb the cost and they take on the cost of producing the product that they're going to be selling. Many ways to negotiate that. It just depends on who it is and what your intention is. But we've made thousands of dollars in a day, and continue to do that with some speakers that we know every time they come in they're going to sell, and it works out. It's a win-win. Now, for example, some of the joint events, this is Dr. Susan Starler, and she's one of our Power 7 grads. And she does an event right in her office. She has a great little room there, which accommodates about 20, 30 people. And every month she'll send out an invitation, and she invites a guest that will send out an invitation as well to to have people come to her event. And that way it doubles her list. She's able to get more exposure. She's able to share the stage and to be able to take advantage of any financial benefits as well. Another way is marketing tables. Many times you can allow vendors to sell their products, their programs or services, and they, as I mentioned, they will be able to pay a flat fee for it. Most of the time, I always offer the flat fee. It could be anywhere from $200 to literally $2,000. Again, it depends on the event, the length of the event, who's in the room. Sometimes it's not about how much or how much time you're in the room, it's the quality of the people in the room. So, for example, if you've got a room full of, you've got a product that's perfect for them, and you estimate that they're going to make a lot of money from that, a good return on investment, then people will pay more to be in that environment. So you have to be able to decide who's in the room and what your price is. And then also be able to give them some different benefits, like participate in front of the room with their marketing messages. We always had a drawing, like a raffle, and we allowed them to contribute one of their products or programs to the raffle. And this gave them an opportunity to go in front of the room and explain more about what they were offering, and then to be able to gift one to a lucky person in the room. So it was fun, it was exciting, people got excited about whatever it is, and it really just magnified what they were offering, so that during that break or at the end of the event, people could go at the back of the room and be able to patronize their services. So there's a lot of different perks you can give them. You can give them great signage. You can give them an opportunity to be able to offer their own drawings and raffles. You can give them advertising in your program. It just depends on what you're offering. So there's a lot of ways, perks you can give them, but it is definitely a great way to have additional income. You're doing the event anyway. You have the room anyway. So why not have someone else there that's offering something, and that will be beneficial to you. Sometimes people want to give you a percentage of what they make. I don't do that. I like to keep it clean, and I do not want to chase anyone about what their receivables are. I don't want to follow up with their returns and follow up with their payment plans and things of that type, not on that small level. You can, but I caution you, it's a lot of follow-up. I prefer for the marketing tables just to give them a flat fee, and if you're doing events consistently, give them a bundle price. We used to do second Sundays every second Sunday of the month. So we would charge $200 for one event or $500 for 3 events, because that way we knew we had them locked in for 3 events. And a bigger discount if they did 6 events or if they did a whole year. So that way these are people that I knew consistently would be there. I didn't have to constantly keep looking, and they knew they consistently had a market they were going to be able to serve, and it was good for them, because the longer and the more consistent they are, the more money they're going to make. Flat fees. Believe it or not, some speakers or people will pay you a flat fee to fill the seats with their target market. We were approached with that a lot because we had a lot of women professionals and entrepreneurs. It was this very specific market, and people wanted that market. And maybe they weren't good at filling the seats. Maybe they weren't good at promoting. Maybe they didn't have a wait list of themselves. But they knew their stuff, and they knew they could close. So for them to pay as much as we've gotten, as much as $2,000 or $3,000 for them to say, you fill the room, and I'll speak, and I get all of the sales. So we didn't split the sales at that point. They got all the sales. But they knew if they needed to sell 1 program or 2 programs, it would have been a good ROI for them, a good return on their investment. So it was worth it to them. If you are able to fill the room with something specific, then approach people that are looking for that market and see what they would pay. And then you still can charge entry fees, or you can charge other things on top of it. Perhaps not, back of the room sales, marketing tables, if they didn't want anything to interrupt with their sales, but you definitely could charge for the ticket sales. And some other opportunities that may come along as well. So that's a great option for some people. But there's a lot more people that know how to do their thing than know how to promote an event. Now, sponsors, same thing. There's brands that will pay to be showcased in front of their target market, and they just want, if you have women, or if you have men, or if you have children, if you have parents, if you have, seniors, whatever their market is, they want to be in front of a place that is much less expensive for them to sponsor your event, where the people are there, than to try to do the whole production and promotion and fill the seats themselves. And so they have that opportunity. They usually have front of the room. Either they do all the presentations, or they usually have signage. Maybe they'll have signage where you see the big banners in the room, or they'll have someone meet and greet. They'll have a greeter that maybe have a golf shirt on with their logo on it, or they act as the host, where they introduce you, or introduce the speakers, or introduce the marketing tables, or they can introduce the drawing. They can host the panel. The different ways they can participate, where they have a chance to share what they do to that audience. Sometimes they just want the list. We had some sponsors that just want the active list of everyone that attended, and they were really good at conversion, and they were going to follow up. So there's many ways for them to be involved, but they would love to be able to just get a flat fee, and again, pay for that. And there's different kinds of sponsorship. So when you're approaching them, make sure these are sponsors that are going to be cash sponsors, that we're going to either pay for the event. Sometimes they say, we'll pay for the whole event, have the bill go to us when complete. We'll cover as many people as you can pack in. Sometimes they'll give you a budget. We're going to pay X amount of dollars, $2,000, $3,000 for the event, and any other expenses are yours. Sometimes they will, negotiate. So it's all negotiable, but they just want to be in front of that. But you need to know how to create a sponsorship package, what to offer them, that make it appealing for them to pay thousands of dollars. That's why you want to make sure that you learn at the Power 7 what to do, what to say, and how to bundle it. Sometimes you can have more than one sponsor. It depends. Sometimes there'll be agreement. If it's a event on health and wellness, so maybe you have a sponsor that's in the medical industry, maybe another sponsor for be a sponsor for massages, and another sponsor for a vitamin herbal type of thing. So it doesn't have to be just one sponsor. You can have a collaborative of them, where you can have like a fair or expo, or some kind of event like that, where you have multiple people participating, but they still are able to have an opportunity to stand out, and they will pay. And that's a great way to make money, because they're usually pretty simple what they want, and they're pretty clear. So one of our members, Dr. Gail Jackson, does an event every month, and she does a little of everything in her events. She has different types of events where she bring in panels. So this was a panel that she did in January. So she had Beverly Johnson, the famous model, who also will be speaking in September. She had the hairstylist. Can't think of his name. He's a Hollywood hairstylist. He does all the top Hollywood styles. One of the other ladies was from one of the soap operas, and then somebody else I didn't know. But all the people collaborated, and they sent out invitations to her event, which means that she had quadrupled her mailing list and had new people off her list at the event that she could now market to and promote, not only for that event but thereafter. And then she had shared the stage with them. She had a time for them to all speak. It was fun, it was funny, and they all had the different personalities, and they gave to it. So that events can be solo, or you can just collaborate with people for the promotion part of it, or for now they didn't participate in the monetary part. They just contributed to the event itself, where she sold her packages, and she was able to realize the benefits of all the packages that were sold that night. She also did an event where she had a Skype. This is a couple months ago. She had Suzanne Summers Skyped in. So Suzanne wasn't able to attend live, but she was able to via Skype, which is just as good nowadays. It's almost like being there. She was able to hear the ladies in the room, and the ladies in the room was able to hear her. So it doesn't mean that people have to be live present. Maybe you want to do an event, a virtual event, where you have people from all over, or you have an event, a live event, but your speakers are out of the area. That's just as valuable. That's just as exciting, because technology is really, just to see it in action is exciting. She also supported her event. She sent the invitation out to, I think it was 5 zip codes on her mailing list. So she says, select the 5 best zip codes, and she sent the invitation out to her people. It was also great for her sales. But we gave her questions that we wanted, our topics we wanted her to talk about, which led to Dr. Jackson selling her program. So Suzanne endorse the validity and the power of the bioidentical hormone treatments, but Dr. Jackson does it in the form of a pellet. So when she completed her presentation, Dr. Jackson was able to take that and information and now share how she implements it or how she does it in the form of a pellets, which is many times more effective and less expensive than the creams and the pills. So there's ways that you can, if you say, well, I want this person or that person, but they can't come, then why not set it up? Now it's a little expensive, but it's going to be worth it because, again, you'll get the people and you'll get the sales and you'll also get the credibility. I mean, now she had 156 newspapers that covered that event. So she can pull from that many, gathering all those articles and all those publications and including it now on her website for her press. So you're able to get a considerable amount of press, extend it to an audience that she didn't have access to originally, and have someone that she really wanted to be able to speak at her event. So there's many ways of being able to do it to make it really effective for you. Now, as we talked about the follow-up, even event, a lot of the money, it used to be like the majority of the money was made at the event and then a small percentage after the event. Now it's at equal, if not even more. And let me tell you why. Many times at the event, people are distracted, they're bombarded, or they're just not able to make a decision at that time to enroll in whatever's being offered. But after the event, when you call them and say, thank them so much for taking the time out of their day for attending the event and what did they get out of it, what were their takeaways, so forth, then say, were they interested in the program? Because perhaps they had some questions they wanted to ask, or they wanted to talk more detail that maybe wasn't covered at the event. You have the opportunity of doing that with them and then actually being able to enroll them right then and there, because now you have them on a one-to-one and they feel complimented, one, that you took the time to reach out to them, and then they feel that they feel much more comfortable being able to have their questions answered and being able to communicate with you. Also, sometimes they don't see the value that day because, again, maybe they went to the restroom, maybe they were just talking to somebody, they didn't see it. So you're able to do that. And then the ones that did not attend, you can still contact them and say, listen, we had a great event, kind of fill them in. I know you missed the event, but I want to kind of share with you what went on. So share with them the highlights of the program, talk to them a little bit about what they're doing, and then say, you may have missed this offer, so if you have a moment, I can extend the offer to you so you can still take advantage of it. And then extend the offer to them, whatever the offer may be. And this is the first time they may be hearing it, and they may be very much interested in taking advantage of that. Perhaps they just couldn't come because of a time conflict or another event or something else they had to do, but that doesn't mean that they're not interested in it. So this gives you a chance to actually, on a one-to-one, share the information with them and get them enrolled. So now, if you do that, you but didn't purchase, but the ones that didn't even attend, and many times they will purchase. And I do that a lot, and it's very, 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 very powerful. Or the combination of everything. Now, this is just a sample. Obviously, it doesn't have to be everything, but say, for example, you have a speaker that pays you $2,000, and that's a small amount, depends on how many people you're going to have in the room. Also referred to as how many butts in a seat. Or you can have a guest ticket sales. Say, for example, you have something small, and there's only 40 people at $50 a person. That's $2,000. Now, obviously, if you double that, you'd have $4,000 and so forth. But just 40 people is easy to get. It's a relatively small event. And say you had marketing tables. You have 5 of them for $200. That's $1,000 there. Say you had your sales of your product, your memberships or programs, whatever you're offering, and for $2,000, that's not a lot of money. Depends on how much your pricing is. So, for example, if you have a $500 program, you had 40 people, if only 10 of them at $500, there's your $5,000 right there. So this is pretty low. It's just giving you an idea of what could happen. Or if you have a sponsor, and a sponsor pays you $2,000, then you'd have a total of $9,000. So literally, I mean, it doesn't, take a lot to do the events. It's just a decision that you say, I'm going to do this. I enjoy doing this. Yes, there's a couple moving parts. Yes, it requires some promotion, really good at people and bringing people in. But if you have the right topics and the right speakers, the people will come. And then you create, a model that will work for you. I'm going to have a chance to answer some questions, ladies. So anything you ask, just go to the chat. Feel free to, if you're on your monitors, you'll see to the right, I hope you can see it, where you can chat in your questions. So chat in your questions, any ideas you have. I'm actually going to have someone who's available to speak to the Power 7, her experience with the Power 7. So just hang in there. When you complete the Power 7, so the speaking and the live events is only a part of the program. Actually, get a golden Rolodex, and that's of all multiple products, programs, and services that you could possibly use. We use a tool called Trello, which gets you organized and be able to manage all the things that you do. That is one of the number one waste of time that we experience when we're trying to look around and find all of our collateral in different places. And by collateral, I mean our scripts, our invitations, our banners, our logos, our pictures, our copy, our list, our sponsor information. I mean, just everything is spread out different places. So we have a program where we put everything in one place, and you can create checklists and attach everything. You can have due dates. You can bring assistants on there. You can share it. I mean, this is amazing, and it's a free tool. So first thing we do is set up, get everything handled. And then we do speaking and events. So this is what we just talked about tonight. We also teach you about affiliates, joint ventures, and sponsorship, how to get those joint ventures to partner with you, how to get those sponsorships, and how to get the affiliates to work with you on your events and everything else that they have to offer. You are also a published author. We create articles that you can use to submit to different web magazines, newspapers, blogs, and to certain sources and and websites that share articles for different publicists and PR people and things of that type, reporters. So we provide, and then also you can do 12 articles with the intention of being able to create an ebook that you can be able to download either immediately, or just create it at month by month, or create it and be able to utilize that as a lead generation or for a fee. So it's either for free or for a fee. So that's something that many of you have a book inside of you, and this is one of the easiest ways to get it done. You also create your own web, TV, and radio show. We decide the name, the length, the style. Is it interview style? Is it just minutes, sharing them back to minute? Is it a group style? Is it on location? What kind of style show would you have? What's compatible and comfortable for you, and it's going to resonate with your audience? And how frequent should you do it? So we actually do that at the Power 7, so you know how it feels and what you enjoy. We also help you create programs and products. Many of you have all these ideas, and packaging is one of the hardest things. And believe me, ladies, I go through that every time I do a new program. It's like, how do I package it? How do I price it? How do I create the shopping carts or the links for people to be able to purchase it? Is it a subscription program? Is it a monthly payment program? Is it a flat fee program? Do we have a Act Now special? I mean, so all those things take consideration. Is really helpful to be able to sit down and work out what you're offering and work out your numbers, not only for your client's sake, but also for the advantage for you to know what income you can be projecting and what income you'll be receiving. Sometimes just tweaking something one way, which doesn't sound like a lot, makes you a lot more money. So it depends on whether you want the cash now or whether you want reoccurring income every month. I mean, all these are considerations that should be taken into developing your packages and your programs and your products. And then when you leave, we create a 12-month income generating blueprint. We decide together at the Power 7 which things you like the best, which things you're able to embrace the fastest without any hardship or aggravation. And then we create those programs and we write down exactly what has to happen for you to be able to achieve your 6 figures. Our goal is 6 figures. We want everyone to make at least their first or additional 6 figures. So that's what we do. And you walk away with that and you follow that plan and it will work for you. If you just follow the plan like anything else, if you get that exercise machine and you use it, it'll work. But if you use it to hang on your clothes and just fill up a space, you're not gonna lose the weight. So it's like anything else, if you do it, it'll work for you. If you work it, it'll work for you. We also, because I always struggle with the program. You take a great program, a great seminar or event, and you got all these ideas and you're overwhelmed, and you get home and you get stuck. And then what do? Either emotionally or, technically, or just in the loss of ideas. So we have a weekly mastermind call that we do every Tuesday at 10. And it's a great opportunity for us to connect. Everyone shares their wins. They share if they have any questions, if they're having struggling with something, if they want to get feedback on a certain title or a program or a 30-second elevator pitch. I mean, it's a wonderful way for us to motivate each other, to empower each other. Really, it's what it really is. If I think of the words, that's really the best word, because many of us are solopreneurs, and even if we are ahead of a 1,000-employee organization, it still gets lonely at the top. So you really want to be able to communicate and network with people that are like-minded, that have the same ideas, the same intentions in mind, and it can really be able to offer you some benefit. We also have a Facebook page where you can promote your information. I'm trying to get everyone to stay active in there. We archive the match so that if you miss it, you can just go into the archives in our Facebook page and listen to them. You can also promote your events and also network with each other, really encouraging, partnering, being accountability partners. It really helps. Being joint ventures. We have a huge community, ladies, of over 53,000 women worldwide. So you are being able to participate in a pool, if this is your target market, of active, available women, between our private events that we do, between our teleclasses and calls, and between our Power 7 Mastermind. You have a lot of options. Also, what we're doing, which we're excited about, is this a new thing. We haven't started yet, but we're starting to schedule next week our podcast. Now, we just found out the other day that we have over 300 and I think 50 something podcasts on iTunes that we've done over the years. And it's like, oh my gosh. But we never did it consistently, and we never did it with their actual a consistent format. There are combinations of interviews and promotions and this and that. So now we are on a mission. We want to interview you and give you the opportunity to share your story, your challenges, your victories, and your secrets to success with the world. And it's just called Empowered Woman, how she shares her stories, challenges, victories, and secrets to success. And we want to build it up. We're going to build up enough for it to run every day. So we only can limit it to 365 members, for the first year. And we want to be able to, we're going to do a lot of them, like about 20 or 30 of them, to bank them. So once we get started, we'll be able to keep it going consistently. And with that consistency, and with the promotion that we're going to put behind it, and with everybody participating, promoting it, it'll give you lots of visibility. So this is how, in a matter of minutes, you'll be able to get your message, your business out to the world, and with everybody else supporting you, because as we supporting each other. This is a podcast that you can put on your website. You can send out to your social media. You can send out email to your database. You can also put it in your email signature so that every time you send out an email, someone has the opportunity of listening to it. Because believe it or not, many of us think everybody knows what we do, but not necessarily so. They may have an idea, but when they get an email and they have an opportunity to listen to it, then it's really, really powerful. And at that point, because it's actually in that format, they can easily share. They can click here to share with their friends. They can click here to share with their social media. They can click there to do a call to action if you want them to download something for free. If you want them to click here for a consultation, you'll be able to create a call to action. We aren't discouraging you from actually selling on this show, because we really want it to be more interviewing style. But believe me, if you tell them what you're doing, how you're doing it, why you're doing it and giving them information, they'll gladly click to your website or your lead page or your sales page and to find out more. So that is a very, very valuable tool. We're excited about it. We're just trying to ramp up all the back end parts. So when we start, we will be able to go, go, go. So in summary, our Power 7 program is designed to give you more credibility, more visibility, and more revenue streams, whether it's from your live events, virtual, live, whether it's from your TV shows, your radio shows, your products, programs, or services, from writing, whatever you want to specialize in or really concentrate on, that's what you'll be able to accomplish at the Power of 7. So let's do some numbers, because sometimes it helps to show how easy it is. $100,000, if you divide it by 12 months, it's equivalent to $8,333 a month. If you divide that by 4 weeks, it's only $2,083 a week. And if you divide that by 5 days, it's only $416 a day. So $416 a day, many of us have a program that's like $500 or more. So if we just sold one a day, 5 days a week, not even 7 days, 5 days a week, we'd be able to reach $100,000. And if you broke that up by 8 hours, it's only $52 an hour. So if you did a coaching or consulting or something that requires that you do by the hourly, most of you are charging $150, $200 above. So you just have to be able to book that many hours or book enough hours to be able to reach your goal. And that's what the numbers look like. So it's not that difficult if you have a plan and if you're able to do it on a consistent basis. Most of us are able to do that. We have those days, but we don't have it consistently. We don't have 5 consistent days a week. Maybe we have 1 or 2. And the consistency is the key. And that's what this program will bring you. You'll have an influx of enough leads, of enough warm and hot leads to be able to cultivate into an actual paying client. So let's look at it another way. If you had a live event and you did it twice a month and only made $4,000 each time, whether you did it through sponsorship or joint ventures or ticket sales, whatever, there's your $8,000. Now, I did round the numbers off just for convenience, but there's your money. If you had something where you got sponsors, now sponsors can be more than just a live event. It could be for your radio show. It could be for your TV show. It could be for your virtual webinars or other events. There's other ways that sponsors can participate, and you'll learn that in the Power 7. So if you had 4 of them at $2,000 a month, there's your $8,000 a month, which is equivalent to your $100,000 a year if you did that. If you had a coaching program or a seminar and you charged $1,000, you had 8 people at $1,000, that's $8,000 a month. That's all. If you had 8 people that paid you $1,000 a month, so maybe you gave them a coaching session once a week for an hour, so that would be 8 hours a week. At $1,000, you have $100,000 just working 8 hours a week. If that's what your goal was, if that's what your target was, that's what you would go after. Say, for example, you did a CD or video or workbooks that you had, some kind of products that you sold, and you sold that program for $500. All you need was 16 sales, and that would be equivalent to $8,000 a month. So many of you, what we show you how is to take your teleclasses, your webinars, or take that information and create a product from it that you can sell for $500. That's great passive income. You put it on your website, people come, you drive the traffic there, people buy it, and it's done. You do it one time and it's done, and the money just keeps coming in. All you have to do is keep providing traffic to maintain those sales. That's only 16 people a month. That's 4 people a week. That's not even a person a day. So, it's not as much work as you think it is. And then if you had a teleclass, a teleprogram you wanted to do, and had 40 people on the line and only charged them $200, there's your $8,000. So say, for example, you had 20 and charged them $400, it's $8,000. So play with the numbers. But this is what you learn in the Power 7. And when you leave, you decide which program are you going to implement, or 2 or 3, to be able to achieve your goal. And that way you walk away with the tools, the information, the knowledge, and the network to work with to be able to accomplish those goals. And this I find is a very fascinating thought. But if you had 1,000 units of 1,000 is equivalent to $1 million. So we're not talking about just $100,000. We're talking about $1 million. So if you decided that you have a product that's $1,000 and you were just going to go gun-ho and sell 1,000 units, then you'd have your $1 million. And when we hear people who are making $1 million, it's like, wow, how do they do that? That could be how they do it. It's one of the ways anyway, and it's a definitely way that you could do. So that's our Power of 7 program. And we have to realize that if you want something different, you have to do something different. It's just that's the way it is. You can't keep doing the same thing you're doing, and you'll get the same results. So if you take the program, the best part about this program is that it's a get it done program. It's something that you will walk out of the room with it done. And then, as I mentioned, we have the weekly mastermind, so that if you forget something, or I present it as a buffet, and I say try everything. And then you'll select the things that you really resonate with, and that's what you'll start with. And then at any time when you're ready, you can go to the next and the next and the next. You add it on. So you're not forced to learn everything and implement everything right away. You've got plenty of time to participate and be able to implement it at whatever time is good for you. So let's talk about our options that we have. We have 3 options. And these are ways for you to be able to get involved. And one is option number 1. You can do a private session. Now, private sessions are really good if you really want and enjoy private sessions. And when all the attention is on you, and we do it in your home, your office, or we find a mutual meeting place to do it. It's $3,500. That's the investment. You can have a payment plan, and that's flexible. Or if you pay it in full, it's $3,200. So you get to save $300 just by paying it in full. You can make your payments via even PayPal, which has a 6 months, no payments, no interest program. So it's no money for 6 months, which certainly gives you time to be able to generate your income and be able to pay it off in 6 months. That's definitely an easy goal to accomplish. So that's one option. And that way it's all on you. Especially for those who have studios. Some ladies have spas, or they have stores, brick and mortar stores, or places, when it has a chiropractor or a health store, then it's good for me to be able to come out to your location, and I will come out to your location and spend time with not only you but your team, and make sure that everybody's doing it, because you don't really want to be doing all this. You want to be able to delegate or automate as much as you possibly can so that you can stay in your genius. And so you say, okay, $3,500, or $3,000, that's a lot. And $3,500 is less than $292 a month. So if you take $3,500 and divide it by 12, it's less than $292 a month for you to be able to build an additional 6 figures for your business. So you look at that investment, you say, if I gave you $3,500, would you give me $100,000? That's a fair program. And it's a get it done program. Again, so it's done for you. It's done. When you finish, it's done. And I stress that because that's so important. Or we have small groups. And the small groups is usually with 4 or 5 people, and it's me alone with hands-on, and sometimes we'll have an assistant. And that's only $1,800, and payment plans are available, or $1,600 if you pay it in full, so you save $200. That's same thing. PayPal offers a Bill Me Later program where it's no payments, no interest for 6 months. So that's really easy to do. And if that's amortized, $1,800, that's less than $150 a month. I mean, some of us spend that on, I spend on dinners or lunches or Starbucks or extra clothes, shoes, or just stuff, So if you have to pull it from your grocery bill or whatever it is, that's not a lot of money to be able to build your business to a $100,000 business. And so it's just, if you look at the numbers, it's again, get it done. When you leave, it's done. You have the opportunity of networking and mastermind with other ladies at the small group. So it just depends on how you like to work. And that's the option that you choose. Now, for the first time ever, we're trying something. And I'm really interesting. It's going to be really interesting for me because people have been asking me to do this. I've hesitated to do this because I like the Get It Done program, and I like that for myself. But some people say, I can do it myself, Desiree. Just tell me what to do. I do my own videos, I do my own radio shows, I do all these things already. I just don't have them in the way that it needs to be to make money. Just like you can have a great steering wheel and great tires and great seats, but if you don't have them on the car the exact way and the way they needs to be, if it's a Ferrari, it's still not going to run, no matter how expensive it is. If it's not done correctly, it's not going to generate, it's not going to benefit you. Same thing with your business. If you can have all these different components, you can do emails already, you can do events already, but if you're not making six figures from them, then it could be a missing link that we would be able to help you with at the Power of Seven. So we're doing a one day on August the 29th. That's this month. It's a Saturday at the Lux Hotel on Sunset Boulevard. And we're charging $2,700 initially and $197 a month for a minimum of 11 months. Believe it or not, that's more than the small do-it-yourself. Small get-it-done programs. But some people really just don't have the funds and really just want to get started. And I'm here to provide the service wherever you are. So we're going to limit that one day in the room, so it won't be crowd. You are going to have the options of being able to bring your computers and laptop, but I will be moving through the Power 7 at a very specific pace, and I will not be able to stop and wait for anyone. But again, if you already have YouTube and you already know radio and you know those things, or it just comes easy to you, this is definitely an opportunity for you to take. And if you take this program on that one day and decide to upgrade to the small groups or the privates, you can apply that initial $297 to that. So it really is an opportunity for you to get started, to see what happens that day, see if you're able to absorb it. If you're not, then simply utilize that, roll that over into the one day private for you or into your small groups. At least you'll have a great idea and a great overview as to what the program offers and what it involves. You're able to take what you can or stick with it and make the monthly payments. You still have access to the masterminds. You'll still have access to the podcast. So it's just another way for people to be able to participate in the program. And we'll see how it works out. If I feel comfortable and everyone being able to really have a great takeaway, then I'll continue doing it. If I don't feel that people really are getting the value that I want you to get, then it'll be the one time only program. So our Power of 7, as I mentioned, are small groups. This is a maximum size group. We had 6 ladies, but it was really nice because you get a chance to work together. We find really nice environments. This was a place that we had in Simi Valley. We have places that we do in homes. We like the homes. We like those environments because there's no traffic, no stress, no parking, no hallways, no elevators. It's just really comfortable, creative environments to work into. After this year, if not in a couple of months, this program will change. Our Power 7 will be probably exclusively to a event, like a destination type event, where we go someplace and spend 3 solid for together to get it done. A different way, a different model. So if you're interested in this, I advise you to take advantage of it now. It will not be around in this format, any one of those formats, forever. We'll be changing it to a larger ticket price, but it will be, again, a different event. We'll be either meeting, again, and spending the night and just being able to make a true different event from it. So if you're thinking about it, now's the time to jump off the fence and get involved, because as soon as we finish, I know until September, I'm not sure about October, it will discontinue and it will only be offered one way, which is via a large ticket item for a very select few people, because I'll be concentrating on our magazine, our Let's Talk Success magazine, so I won't be able to be available. I just unfortunately won't be available to do it. So go and register. Don't think about it. You've heard about it. It's not a lot of things that you need to decide. It's simple. Do you want to make an additional or your first $100,000 in your business? And if that's what you want, go to anempoweredwoman.com/yes and register. I have the 3 options there. You can register in a private, you can register on a small group, either a full pay or a payment plan, or you can actually register for the $297, give that a shot, and I'll see you on the 29th, and make your payments thereafter. It's not, again, it's not really a heavy-duty decision, basically, ladies. I mean, it's really about what you want. Now, if you act now, again, if you participate, because we only have a limit to 365 members, and we have about 100 already from the graduates of the Power of 7. We're giving them first options to participate. So once they are scheduled, we'll have less than 200 available, around 200 spaces available. So you'll get an interview with me and a chance to share your story, your challenges, your victories, and your secrets to success. And it'll be broadcasted to the world. You know what? Quite honestly, that is worth the price of admission in itself. If someone said to me, I'm going to participate in one tomorrow, actually, I'll send out the email. You'll see the email. I'm doing a podcast tomorrow. I'm also doing another one, I think, later in the month. I've paid to be on these podcasts if they have the right audience for me, because all I need is one client, one person to participate in their program, and it would be beneficial to me. And the same thing for you. If you have something that's an interview is always better than an advertisement. You can do your own videos and your own radio shows, but it's you, me. But it's wonderful, and it's a great prestigious position to be in when someone is interviewing you and they're saying, this is a person that I want to interview, an empowered woman, and this is the information she's going to share with you today. And that we already have, and you know that we have a network to share it with, so you know the power of the response be from that. So that is a great thing that is, we're excited about, and again, we're limited to it, so it's the first ones that participate that will get on there. And then after that, we'll go for the next year. And one thing I want to share with you is that many people have thought about it, but you know, a year from now, you're going to wish you had started from today. And literally, there are people that have been on our community for years and been looking and watching and waiting on the sidelines. I don't know what you're waiting for. I don't know what you're looking for. I don't know where your hesitation is. If you don't need more information, if you don't know enough about the program, then I've offered opportunities for you to schedule a private strategy session with me. And then we could talk and see if it's perfect for you. If you're not a candidate for this, believe me, I will tell you so. We're working with small groups, and we don't want anyone to disrupt the vibe, the energy, and the excitement in that group. I work with privates. I do not want to take the time or your time to work with someone who is not a fit for this program if it's not going to work. So I will tell you in a strategy session right up front if you're ready for it or if it's a perfect fit for you, for one. And then secondly, what are you waiting for? If it's financing, contact us and say yes, I want to do this, but this is what I need the universe to support me with. We have so many different programs. We try to go from one end to the other. It's an investment like anything is to build your business. There's nothing you're going to be able to get without giving. And this is a process. So we made it as affordable as possible for now. As I mentioned, it's going to change where I've just been able to work with really high ticket item. As a high ticket item, it's worth it. It's just that I've been able to, I wanted to really be able to offer something for our community and not make it a stretch for them. I don't know what you want and what you need, but I know that if you want to create this, we're in our last quarter of 2015, and if you haven't made 3/4 of your $100,000 yet, then now is the time. And another thing, as a bonus, lots of times, a lot of the different programs, they offer bonuses of different downloads and CDs and DVDs and books and the MP3s and things like that. And that's all great and it's all wonderful, and I know they're valuable. But again, I'm more of a hands-on person. I can get all the CDs and DVDs and downloads, but I don't usually have the time to really follow up and to go through it. And if I do, and I get stuck, then I'm stuck. And many times I don't have anywhere to go from there. I find one-on-one consultation, either in a lunch or by a phone, much more valuable. And that's what I'm offering you. Anyone who registers today, it's an Act Now opportunity. If you register next week or next month, I may or may not be available. If you register today, then I will schedule a time for a lunch or a phone if you're out of town. Some of my clients are out of town, and in those instances, then we'll do it virtually. Time, a coaching session with you anytime in the next 12 months. So you can use it as you need it. So if you don't need it now, when you start an event or start a new project or start a new business or whatever it is, I would be available to meet for that. And that, I think, is priceless, because I value the time that I spend with other leaders in different organizations. When I have one-on-one times with them, I get so much from them, just the ideas, being able to brainstorm, being able to mastermind, or being able to network about something. It's one of the most valuable tools you can offer somebody is time, and time is never duplicated, and you can never get enough of it. So, you can always send out 1,000 CDs and DVDs, but there's only one opportunity for you to spend a one-on-one time with us. So I hope you value that as much as I do, and it would be my pleasure to spend it with you. But it's for those who really know what they want and are able to act now. So this has been our Power 7. We talked about our networking, speaking, and live events. But as you know, we have a full menu of more that you experience and that you learn at the Power 7. And I think I may have a young lady on the line that will be able to share her experience with me. I don't know. Yes, I hear something. Is that Kim? I hear something. I heard something unmute. So if she's still with me, say something and we will share some information. Hello? I hear something. So also, if you have any questions, feel free to add the questions to the side. I don't hear anyone yet. Nope, I don't hear anything yet. All right, one question
Desiree.
that just came in. Yes,
Hi.
yay, there you are.
Sorry. Technical difficulties. I apologize for that. Um,
No problem. That's what happens. Your volume, make sure your volume is okay. Can you hear me?
I
Good?
can
I can
hear
hear.
you. Can you hear me?
Yes, perfectly.
Okay.
So now let's see. So it was just interesting because you took the program how long ago?
About a year and a half ago.
Oh my goodness. I hate to admit that you've taken the program a year and a half ago. And then you came to life about how long ago?
I came to life about a month ago. Yeah, I had some challenges. One of my biggest struggles was believing about myself what others saw in me in terms of my being able to be an entrepreneur, in terms of my being an expert in my field. And I, what I've definitely learned is that if the principles are applied, they actually work. And now I'm on fire. I can't believe I didn't start this a year and a half ago. It's absolutely insane. Absolutely insane.
Well, you came from the corporate world, right? You've been a 9 to 5er for years.
Absolutely. I've been a 9 to 5er for years, and what's really interesting is actually for the last 7 or 8 years, I've worked as a contractor, and so it's actually kind of one step away from being a consultant, but I still worked for someone else in that capacity, and so really moving from that mindset of working for somebody and being an entrepreneur and you running the show, there's definitely a jump. It's a bit of a transition, but again, in this last month, now I'm on fire. But what I've done is I've gone back to all of the things that I learned in the Power Seven, and so it wasn't that the program didn't work; I wasn't working. And so I moved past the fear. And one of the biggest tools is getting kind of the back office things done in advance. Because once you get out there and you start networking, you kind of need your things in place. Otherwise, you may miss out on some opportunities that are hot. And
So,
so, yeah.
so take a moment and tell everybody what you do, just for some background.
So the name of my company is called Government Contracting Solutions. So I've worked with federal government contracts, local government contracts, and also private sector contracting. And so what I do now is I help small businesses navigate their way through the government contracting process. So for small businesses that are providing a service already, or doing some sort of work already, 9 times out of 10, what they do in their normal business can be translated into a government contract, which can help. They can use the government contracts to leverage their business for future growth. So that's what I do.
That's huge. because that's huge. Because so many people, are qualified for that or could qualify for that. They just don't know about it. So since you've come to life, what have you done and what have you experienced?
Okay, so since I've come to life, one of the things I've done is, for one, I've gotten organized. I organize my day. Again, something that I've learned from you through the power of seven. With organizing my day, I have very specific goals and things that I want to accomplish every week. And that's getting some sort of education, whether it's watching a webinar or going to a conference or something like that, and then also networking. And then I want to, I'm more focused on income generators, because if you're doing all this research and doing all this networking and you're not making any money, what's it all for? One of the things that I really realized is, now that I'm on fire and I'm ready to go, everywhere I go, whether it's to the grocery store, church, or wherever, if I have a couple of minutes and I'm talking to someone and I have that opportunity to give my elevator pitch, 9 times out of 10, what I do is something they're interested in or they have a contact. And so I will hand them my business card and exchange that information. And so now even the educational opportunities are networking opportunities. And so I look at everything I do as an opportunity to help someone, but also an opportunity to generate income. And it's working. It's the results are phenomenal, especially within the last 2 3 weeks. It's just absolutely amazing. I can't believe I did not try this sooner.
And the thing is, because you've been to a couple events, so you went to one event, the small event that we had in Orange County in Irvine, where it was just some of the
Absolutely.
ladies in the conference. But that was a great opportunity. I don't know if you connected with Desiree and the magazine or not, but that's another great opportunity. And the people
I
that you met
did.
there, you did
I did.
awesome.
I
Because if
did.
you attend that big event, that's going to be huge for you, because they have
Absolutely.
nothing but that's going to be blowing out for you. Then you also attended the Vogue program in Anaheim.
Yes. The
Yes.
Speak Your Genius. Absolutely.
Tell us about that event. The
Okay,
Speak Your
so
Genius.
what's amazing about being a part of the Empowered Woman Network, or the Power Seven, and the mastermind calls, is that uh, Desiree is really awesome about extending sometimes free invitations to other people's live events. And this event in Anaheim, Desiree, you were going to be a guest panelist. So my intent was really to just go and support you. And it was a 3 day event. So Desiree spoke on Friday. I went Friday. I learned so much and met so many really cool people that I came back for the third day. And at the last hour of the third day, uh, we were doing an exercise where we're in groups and giving our elevator pitch. I gave my elevator pitch, and it was so succinct and clear that one of the guys at the table, while I was in the midst of giving my elevator pitch, began to think of several opportunities for us to work together. And I just sent him a proposal. And what's wonderful about that is, one of the things that had held me back was concentrating so much on making sure that I had regular money coming in. But in the past, the only way I had regular money coming in was to go work a 9 to 5. Once I shifted my focus to generating income through my business, I changed my mindset. I began to really work for me and to work for myself and to work for my business. And, I just sent him a proposal, and if that proposal goes through and that work uh, is generated, then it'll be enough to pay my basic bills, and then I can focus and concentrate on some of the other things that I'm working with, and some joint ventures that I've got going as well.
And this is just for a start, and the thing is that to be able to get the one client, that can pay, that can cover your basics, that's, and whatever that may be, is huge. And that's what keeps people back, as far as the fear factor. And it's really important for ladies to know that, one, I want to point out what you experienced is that you were not confident in your business, and so by getting out there and getting the affirmation from everyone saying yes, that's a great idea, and being able to refer you and give you contracts, that's huge. And then being
Absolutely.
able to share that with a mastermind and have collaboration, like you and one of the other young ladies are doing. Would you say you're doing together? You and
Yeah.
Roxanne.
Yeah. So the Roxanne is actually a friend of mine, and she's the one who introduced me to the Power of Seven. Uh, and she and I were both stuck in the same rut, and we decided to meet. To begin meeting once a week to hold each other accountable in our business ventures. And we realized neither one of us were bringing in money. So we began to brainstorm, and we've come up with a separate business that we'll do together, where we will be partners and presenting live events and coaching um, small businesses and women-owned businesses and actually women executives. So it's amazing. It's amazing, and actually that synergy that you get with networking and getting out there and going to events. And I mean, I even went to a free workshop with SCORE, and it was on business plans. And that I left with three contacts, one with a prospective customer or client, and then the other two are people that I can bring in to speak at the live events that I'll be doing with my friend Roxanne. So there are opportunities all around you, and just as you said, Desiree, that getting out there and giving my elevator speech and just really seeing the response gave me a push. And it was like, you can do this. So now I see the value in what I have to offer, even more so than what other people see. So before other people saw my value, but I didn't. And now I'm there. And I'm just grateful.
And and speak a little bit about the mastermind. How is that? What are your takeaways from the mastermind calls? I mean, they're simple, they're easy, they're short and sweet, but what's your
Absolutely.
takeaways?
Absolutely love the mastermind calls because the mastermind calls, that's that once a week check-in where, again, you're accountable to a group. Um, so the mastermind is coming up on Tuesday. So even if you were slacking for a few days, it kind of makes me, kind of compels me to to make some sort of progress, at least in one area or another, because I know I need to be ready and prepared to give some sort of, okay, I got this done. The other thing that I really love about the mastermind calls is that opportunity to bounce off ideas. So if I feel like I'm stuck in something, or I need some feedback, that's a live call with live people, and of course our guru Desiree, where I can bounce those ideas off, and then it's a willing and it's a willing audience who's ready to help give me feedback and to help me, in my venture. But I also love the fact that in those masterminds we learn something new every time. We learn something new. Sometimes it's something that seems like it may be small. It's something that Desiree may just rattle off, and it just seems like second nature to her. But they're little pearls. It's just pearls of wisdom. I mean, things as simple as, you can go to your bank, where you have your business account, and to ask them to sponsor events, and they're willing to sponsor events. I mean, who would have thought? You typically think of your bank and you're like, I can't go to them unless I want a business loan, and I have to have a million different things in order. Well, without even showing them your business plan and all of that, letting them know that you're having, a live event, and asking them to be a sponsor, again, those are just some of the little pearls of wisdom that you get, on the mastermind calls, and I just love it. I love it.
And they'll pay for the food and everything, and they'll
Absolutely.
pay for the parking, and they even paid for you to open an account with them. They waived the fees for the first year for some of our
Hmm.
events, and they gave people $100 to put in deposit. I mean, so there's a lot of different things that you do. We talk about and we share, like you said, you just take one little thing and run with it that you may not have thought about. So that's really valuable. And I really appreciate you sharing this. And this is from someone who just basically had the program and sat on it for a while and then jumped in. And now in a couple, less than a month, she's actually had, I mean, I'm really confident you're going to have those contracts and those opportunities. And that's, now you're set. At least your basics are covered and everything else can be profit from there. So I want to thank you so much for sharing your perspective, because it's sometimes people need to hear it from someone who's actually been there and done that. So and also anyone who wants to take advantage of your services, Kim, just share with them your phone number or your website real fast, and then I'll answer some questions that have come on.
Okay, perfect. So my website is gcstoday.com. Sorry, like why am I pausing? And then my telephone number is 714-733-0984. Again, 714-733-0984. All right. Was there
Great. Well,
anything else that you
thank you,
wanted
and
me to
keep
share?
up the good work. And anybody that wants, no, I think basically anything else you wanted to say? Anything else that comes to mind?
No, that again, the Power 7 is amazing. It's absolutely amazing. And even if you are a do-it-yourselfer, because I'm absolutely a do-it-yourselfer, and I think a lot of entrepreneurs are. The Power of Seven events are amazing because there is a lot to do and to get set up, so that you are successful in your business. So that again, once you begin to network and build your list and get people who are interested in your services, um, there's some things that you want to already have in place, again, so that you can basically just go to the shelf and pull it out and customize it for that particular client. You don't want to be in a position where you're having to spend 3 days or a week to put your package together, or spend a week or two just getting things together, to piece together a proposal. You want to have those things ready. And through the Power of Seven, you're set up for success. And the thing is that, as Desiree mentioned, we're all different and people like different aspects of it. So some people love doing the videos and the podcasts. Some people love doing the articles. And so there may be one thing that you favor over the other things, but what's wonderful is that you learn how to do everything. And so you can pick and choose what works best for you. And at the end of the day, especially in this technological age that we live in, you probably need to dabble in a little bit of everything anyway, or at least know enough so that you can have someone else work that piece that you're not, too keen on, for you. But I love the fact that when you leave the Power of Seven, you're ready to go. You have things already in place. And so, again, if podcasting, really isn't your thing, that may be the way that you feel today. But maybe 6 months from now, you may see the value in it, and at least you can say, "Oh, well, I've done that," and it's the scare factor has been removed. So I really believe in the program, and if you want to propel your business or grow your business, or push it further than it already is, or even get started, highly recommend doing the Power of Seven.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much, young lady. Thank you so much.
You're
So now,
welcome.
thank you. I'm going to answer some questions. Somebody chatted and asked, them, can they repeat the program? That is awesome, because of the fact that yes, the answer is yes. When you take the Power of Seven, you have the option of assisting on other Power Sevens. So the Sophia, I believe, is the name of the person who asked some questions. Okay, I'm just reading as I'm speaking, so I'm sorry about that. The So yes, you can take it over again. So that's the good news about it. Then also, more importantly, as we get to our masterminds, many times the questions or the things that you're not sure of are answered on the mastermind. So that works for you. Another person's asking, when are the events? The events vary their month. So the next weekend event is going to be on the 22nd and 23rd, I believe, of this month of August. It's a Saturday and Sunday. I'm sorry, I should have had that in front of me, but it's a Saturday and Sunday, the 23rd. I believe, in the 3rd of August. If not, look at your calendar and we'll correct that. And also the other ones is one in September. That's about the 3rd weekend of September and so forth. They're usually Saturdays and Sundays. When I do the privates, it can be any day and time that's good for you. Somebody else said, how can they talk to me? If you need to reach me, simply email me. If you want a complimentary strategy session, just email me and I will contact you. And we'll schedule a time for us to talk privately, no pressure, no obligation, just a chance to see if it's a fit for you or to answer any questions that you may have specifically. My email address is Desiree, Desiree, at anempoweredwoman.com. That's the best way to talk to me. Another one asked, what is the date for the one day? The one day is scheduled for August the 29th. This is Saturday at the beautiful Lux Hotel off of Sunset in the 405 freeway. It's going to start at 8:30 in the morning. We'll register at 8:30. We'll start at 9, and we'll probably finish around 6:30, maybe 7. We'll have lunch breaks. I don't know if we're going to have time for a dinner break, but we'll be working it through the day. It'll be a nice day because, again, we'll be a small enough group. It's 30 people as opposed to 4 or 5 or 6, but that's the day. It's August the 29th. I don't have another one scheduled because, as I mentioned, I really want to feel it out. I need to feel good that everybody has enough information to really do it themselves. I'm attached to the outcome, unfortunately, in that way, so I really want to make sure it works for everybody. And if it works successful and everyone really gets enough done and it's just going to work, then I will do it again, probably once a month, maybe at the end of the month. But try to make it this time because it will be something very special. What is the day of the small group? The small groups that I mentioned is on August the, I'll find out for sure, August the 22nd and 23rd. And the one thereafter will be September the 26th and 27th as the dates are now. So we usually, again, do it like the 3rd, towards the end of the month. And again, if you're doing your private, it can be done at any time. So don't let the dates stop you. If the dates don't work for you, give me a call and we'll work out something, because I do some virtual programs. Like some of my clients are from back east. I also do groups, organizations, and we do it all virtual. So you're more than welcome to participate in something like that if you physically can't join us on the live events. And I think that's it. Any other questions? I welcome you to contact me. Again, most people don't give their names and numbers. They want you to just respond via email or chats or messaging. I encourage you to talk to me. I want to talk to you. I want to know who I'm working with, and I want to know what you're doing and what you're up to and how I can support you. So you can contact us at 818-865-8563, extension number 3 will bring you to me. Or email me, Desiree at anempoweredwoman.com. I do thank you so much for sharing your time and giving me, I know you have plenty of options, and I really appreciate the fact that you spent time to hear about this. And if there's anything I can do, let me know. And until then, stay empowered.